Hey everyone, I'm Liz Fairy and today I'm going to show you how I made these crochet horse and centaur dolls. This video is the third part, where we'll continue the horse body. If you missed part 1 or 2 of this series, you can find the links in the description. You can also find the written patterns for these dolls in my Ravelry store. Those links are in the description below. Now let's continue where we left off in the last video. Next I'm going to begin to decrease the front, and I'm going to continue to increase the back. If you like, you could simply continue to elongate the back by increasing 3 per side like we've been doing before creating the horse's rear. I think my horse's body is already long enough, so I'm going to begin increasing the back 6 times at the very middle instead, to create the horse's rear. So I'm going to continue to single crochet until I reach the back of the body, where I'm going to begin to increase 6 times at the center back. Okay, here at the very middle of the back, I'll increase 6 times. Then single crochet until I reach the front of the work, where I'm going to decrease 3 times. In this row, since I just made chain stitches at the leg holes instead of regular single crochet, I'll decrease the front by skipping 2 of the chains, 1 per leg, and by decreasing normally once into the stitches in between the leg holes. Also, when I work into the chains, I'll just work into the back loop, so that I can work onto the front loops when I make the leg. You can find the back loop of the chain behind the chain, right behind the bobby pin I used to mark the front 2 loops of the chain. Or if you like, you could just work into one of the front loops of the chain instead, leaving the other loop to work the leg. Or again, you could just make the leg on a separate chain and sew it on later, in which case you could work onto the chain however you like. But I'll be working onto the loop behind the chain. So single crochet normally into the first 3 chains of the first leg hole, then skip the last chain to count as 1 decrease. Single crochet into the next stitch, then decrease the next 2 stitches at the middle front together for our second decrease. Skip the next chain of the next leg to count as the final decrease, and then single crochet into the remaining 3 chains, again into the back loop. Now I've skipped 2 chains and decreased 1, and I'm at the end of the row. In the next row, I'm going to continue to decrease 3 times at the front per row, and to increase 6 times at the back per row. So I'll single crochet until I reach the back, then increase 6 times. Then I'll continue to single crochet until I reach the front, where I'm going to do 3 normal decreases. Then single crochet until the end of the row. And I'm going to continue to do that until the rear reaches the length that I want. I want to have 5 rows of increase total for the rear. Since I've already done 2 rows of increase, I'll just do 3 more rows. So I went on for 5 rows, decreasing at the front 3 times per row and increasing at the back 6 times per row. Next I'll end the rear by decreasing 6 times per row at the back middle until the opening is wide enough for both back legs. I'll also continue to decrease at the front 3 times at the same time, so I'll be doing 9 total decreases in this row. So I'm going to do one of my decreases at the front here, in the first stitch of the row, and when I get to the end of the row I'll do the other 2 decreases, just to make sure I have enough room for all 3 of the front decreases in this row. So I've done my first decrease at the front. Now I'll single crochet until I reach the back of the work, where I'm going to decrease 6 more times. Next I'll single crochet until the front again, and do the last 2 decreases at the front at the end of the row. I'm going to continue until I have a total of 3 rows of decrease for the rear. I've already done 1 row, so I'll just finish with 2 more rows in the same way. So I finished with 3 rows of decrease for the rear. Now I'm going to create the back leg holes. It's going to be similar to the way that I made the front leg holes, by skipping stitches and making chains. Again, you can make the legs as wide as you like, but if you want a doll with thinner legs, you can skip fewer stitches when making the leg holes, and if you want thicker legs, you can skip more stitches. Just bear in mind that, once again, the number of skipped stitches will make up about 2/3 of the width of the leg, and the chain will make up the other third. Alright, first I'm going to mark 6 stitches at the back of the work, as close to the middle as I can for the 3 decreases in between the legs. And then I'm going to mark 7 stitches on either side of the 6 marked stitches in the middle, because that's how many stitches I used when I was making the first set of leg holes at the front. Okay, now I have 3 different groups of marked stitches. First I'm going to decrease 2 times at the front of the work. I'll do the last decrease for the front at the end of the row. Then I'm going to single crochet until I reach the first group of marked stitches. Then I'm going to chain 4, the same amount of chains I did for the front legs. Okay, I've done my 4 chains. Now I'm going to skip these 7 marked stitches, and then I'm going to decrease 3 into the 6 stitches I marked at the middle. And now the first back leg hole is made. To make the next one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to chain 4, and then skip my 7 marked stitches, and instead of single crocheting in the next stitch, I'm going to decrease the last 2 stitches of the row to make up the last decrease at the front. And that's going to create the second back leg hole. Next, I'll place the back legs of the wire skeleton through the back leg holes of the doll. Before I continue, I'm going to mark the same stitches of the back leg holes as I did for the front leg holes. Again, you don't have to do this if you would rather make the legs on a separate chain and sew them on later. I'm marking my stitches so I can come back and work the legs onto these stitches. So I'll mark each stitch that I worked into on either side of the chain 4, then I'll mark each chain. Now I'm going to begin to decrease all the way around the row. So I'm going to decrease 6 times per row. For this row, since I created chain stitches for the leg holes, I'm once again going to create my decreases by skipping some of the chains, just like I did when I made the front leg holes. I'm going to skip 2 chains for each leg this time, and decrease normally 1 time each at the front and the back. So I'll decrease for the first stitch, and then single crochet until I reach the chain. And just like when I was making the front leg holes, I'm going to work only into the loop behind the chain and leave the front loops of the chain open for when I work the legs later. Since I'm skipping 2 chains to make up 2 decreases, I'll single crochet into the first chain, skip the second chain, single crochet into the third chain, and skip the 4th chain. Then single crochet into the next stitch, the first of the 3 decreases at the back of the previous row, then decrease the next 2 stitches at the back together to make up the 4th decrease. Now I just need to do the same thing for the next back leg hole as I did for the first one. I'm going to skip every 2nd chain, working into the loop behind the chain for the 1st and 3rd chain. Then single crochet in the last stitch of the row. In the next row, I'm going to continue to decrease 6 times per row until the hole at the bottom is small enough to sew closed. I'm just going to decrease for 1 more row, but you can do as many rows as you need until the hole at the bottom is small enough to sew closed. Alright, I finished decreasing the bottom of the work, and now to end my row, I'm just going to slip stitch to the next stitch of the row. Then I'm going to cut off my yarn and use the tail to sew this hole closed. This is a good place to take a break so the video doesn't get too long. So I'll show you how to complete the horse body in the next video. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a like and share it on social media. If you want to see more doll tutorials, you can find a playlist at the end of this video or check in the description below. And if you'd really like to help out the channel, you can donate to my Patreon. You can get some pretty cool perks through Patreon, like seeing my videos early, access to some of my prototype patterns, and discounts in my Ravelry store, depending on your level of donation. You can find out more about that at patreon.com/fairyrings. You could also subscribe and click the bell icon so that you don't miss the next video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!